what I want to ask you is you were with Deuce and Domino for a period of time. Were you technically their manager or just I just want to get it right here.
Well, and I think that that's kind of the sad part that really didn't come across is the depth of our characters was,
Right.
you know, Deuce was supposed to be my boyfriend. Domino was my brother.
Right.
They were the heels. I was the baby face. So we took on that, mixed dynamic. And I don't think that that really came across the way it on WWE TV, the way it did on OVW TV,
Right.
because we wanted to kind of set a different precedence in regards to that. So it wasn't a manager per se. It was, a family dynamic when it
Okay.
came to the characters. So, and that's the sad part. I think that there was a lot lost in the sauce with that, because they did kind of break it down when we debuted that, I was the girlfriend and the sister, but I don't think that people really understood where we were going with it and how we
Hmm.
always originally had planned on it. It's the bigger machine, so it just kind of got lost in there. So yeah. hmm
When did they come to you, or when, or was this something you requested that?
Not at
Hey,
all.
it's no, so you
Not at
didn't
all.
request for you to go singles and try and put you in wrestling matches. So how were you approached with this? And
It
obviously,
was
did they ask you if it was? Is this okay? Are you comfortable with this?
no, definitely not. It was never really explained, really, because in the beginning they were very protective of me, being involved in certain things. I know that when there was I think there was like a 10 girl tag or a battle royal or something, they specifically left me out. Like when I first came up, they were very protective, which we were too. It was always no one in the storylines were touching Cherry because that always needed to be a big payoff later. So like the writers and Vince or whoever would keep me out of certain things and just keep me with the boys. And then out of nowhere, they decided to do this Divas competition and they just included me in it. So I did what I was told. It wasn't like, hey, you're going to be included. Are you cool with that? Like there's never any discussion. You just do what you're being told. So at least for me, it was that way. That's where the breakup really kind of started from me leaving them, was because on the first round of the Divas competition, Maurice got bumped. And then they kind of played off of like, why would Cherry be there and Maurice be the first one to be bumped off of the competition? So they kind of took that. I don't know who pitched that. I don't know what happened, but I just know it got spun. There was never any discussion with me. We all just kind of had our confusion as to whether the Diva competition voting was real or not. So either way, it just kind of spun, whether it was done on purpose or not. I don't know. No one ever came to me about it. So to me, it just was kind of like I showed up to TV and this is what was happening next. I showed up to TV and this is what was happening next. It was never like, hey, this is what we plan to do with you. So it's not how they were running things, at least for my level. Obviously for top tier levels, it's a little bit more planned out, but no one discussed it with me. Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe they did plan it out.
Let me ask you this then, as kind of a personal question, if you don't mind, the viewers and us getting a bit personal here. When you did the singles run, and yeah, like you said, you just went to work. This was what you were told to do today. Blah blah blah. So you wore a lot of, let's say, little risque dresses and such as your ring attire going down with the boys. When they asked you to do the swimsuit, like, what was your initial reaction?
I was shocked because I was very protective of the character. I always wanted everything to be organic, and I was very true to the character. She was a baby face. She was naive. She didn't know how to wrestle. I knew how to wrestle personally, obviously, but the character didn't, and that's kind of the route we wanted to start out at. I was fine with wrestling, but I wanted to happen organically rather than all of a sudden Cherry's doing all of these moves and you know what I mean? It just wasn't something that I wanted
did she
to
get
do.
a crash? Did she plug into the Matrix last night and wake up and say, I know wrestling?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the bikini contest was a little bit much for me very quickly, but I felt like I could control as much as I could by still staying true to her. I was shy. I didn't want to do it. I kind of did it, and then like when the fight broke out, I kind of ran off. So I thought it was too soon, but given the situation and the segment, I was still going to put my own twist on it, even though I felt like exposing Cherry in a bikini contest was a little too soon for her character. But I did what I could control.
On a
That makes sense.
on not on a character level, but as you, okay,
Mhm.
in a personal, real life way. If somebody came to and approached you and said, you're doing a bikini thing skit tonight, get in your skinnies and get out there. Was
Mhm.
there just a moment of shock for you, being like, what's going on? Why do you need me in a bikini? I mean,
No, I've been a fan of wrestling forever, and I know that that's always just with the girls kind of something that will come up. So not personally was I shocked. I just, eventually you're going to expect that. But character-wise, I thought it was too soon for Cherry to do it.
and see,
So,
that's what I love, is that you are worried about the kayfabe. You're worried
yeah.
about the character, and that is what you know. And I've said this to JD many times with WWE. Their characters now are very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
It's very one-dimensional, very just go down to the ring, do a match, and then out you go. There's nothing to care about. And
Right.
it's lovely to hear someone say, but that's not what my character would do.
Right.
That this is who she is, and you can't just change those things without screwing up the actual person. Yet maybe if it was a longer build up to it, maybe if they did
Mhm.
some sort of storyline where they're trying to trick Cherry into getting in a bikini, whatever. I mean, there are
Right.
so many other ways it could have been presented, but I totally think you're right. I mean, don't get me wrong in any way. I liked seeing you in the bikini in the ring.
Aw.
I just want to say that firstly. But when I saw it, I literally felt everything that you just said. I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, she what? No,
Yeah.
no, she's all shy and stuff. Why who's forcing her to do this? It did make sense to
Yeah.
me, but I did see you play it shy as the character to fight. Come on, you bolted, and that was in keeping with Cherry, which I loved.
Yeah.
But then it
Yeah.
was, oh my God, but why is she doing this quick? I
Yeah.
expected some sort of storyline where she was being forced to do it because they kidnapped her brother or something, but nothing
Mhm.
came of it. And I think
No.
you're
Yeah.
totally right with that. It was wrong for the character. It was wrong to do that to her.
I agree.
Now,
I think that that's the lackluster of it right now is back in the day when you watched, like, there was that suspense to, play it out and play it out and play it out, and then you finally get that payoff. A month
Mm.
later, it's like you barely get a payoff from one show to the next show.
right.
So it's too quick. Yeah. So
Now, is what you were just saying, like with the evolution of this, you were protecting the character Cherry, and when you started your singles run, and you just said, well, you can't just be coming in and doing all these wrestling moves out of nowhere. What the heck is this? Is that where your pairing with Michelle McCool came from? Was she supposed to be working as your mentor, so to speak? Like,
I think it wasn't played off that way, but I think it worked out so well because she was the top girl. She
right,
wrestled all the time. It meshed so well because it came down to, in the Divas competition, babyface, we were just like the friends on that end of it. So me being able to lean on her, I think it just evolved naturally, which I did love, because it was so easy to just be like, oh, I don't want to wrestle. Like, what do I do? And I was able to,
right.
when they paired us, to rely on Michelle, which made her be such a pivotal person in the storyline with, they used me as the bumper for Natty and Victoria to, get them over, but also be building Michelle. So it was a great dynamic all within itself organically, which is, really what is just true for me.